Thank you. OHCS has began a series of engagement conversations with stakeholders. We began that 2 weeks ago, this coming Thursday, and we will continue to have bi-weekly meetings through November. The engagement conversations are around modifying our kind of current process, which is a program-related NOFA process, where stakeholders and partners will come in and apply for a particular program, to a process that is more of a consolidated NOFA process. And we are very interested in what that would look like, and how that can best work, and are in the process of trying to gather as much information on that as possible. Every 2 weeks, we will have a series of conversations around that process, and just really highly encourage you all to come. Those are on Thursdays. We are going to the Housing Stability Council monthly to update them on the engagement process, and just let them know how that process is going. The third topic on the agenda is preservation framework, and for that, I'm going to turn that update over to Roberto Franco.
Thanks, Rick. I also put in the chat a link to the schedule and the plan for that engagement process or series of engagements that we would like to conduct. So if you missed the first one, this gives you an idea of what's coming ahead and how we would like to, what to get out of those engagement sessions. On to the preservation framework that will seeking approval from Council this Friday. If you had an opportunity to take a look at those, we've been working on that, and Michael Parkhurst has been working with many of you in trying to come up with the best framework that we can present to Council, as well as in working with the partners. There are 4 priority areas in that framework that we like to introduce and get that approval from Council. And it's probably not, they are priority areas that are probably not surprise to you. Includes the preservation of manufactured home parks, the preservation of long-term federal subsidies, and the preservation of projects that might be owned by nonprofit owners, where the affordability is expiring and we need to retain them in the portfolio, as well as preservation of portfolio and projects that, because of physical conditions or financial conditions, need some resource or infusion of funding to keep them stable and make them last as well. That framework that we're presenting on Friday should inform us for our next steps, our work plan, if you will. And that should also, we'll use that framework to inform us in making the best allocation of resources that we have for preservation, both from the funds that we could get from the legislature, as well as from some of our other existing funding sources that allow for preservation. So in anticipation, just thank you to everyone that has participated in some of the calls or reached out to Michael or been part of the preservation policy. So that this is the culmination of all of those conversations. And so we'll go from there and then make improvement as we go around that framework. So this should not be the last and the only time that we'll talk preservation, but it gives us that initial basis on which we need to think differently about preservation work. I think that's the main update there.
Thank you, Roberto. Yeah, and let's take some questions on anything regarding the Housing Stability Council. Travis, it looks like your hand's up.
Yeah, I'm curious. Thanks for joining us all and sharing here today. I'm curious, maybe specific to the preservation framework. I know Michael did a lot of work to try to connect with folks and get feedback and engagement around that. I'm wondering if you can share it. I haven't had a chance to read through it and compare to any prior versions, but I'm curious if you can share how that engagement informed where the preservation framework sits right now, or sort of how that'll layer into where there's any opportunity for additional feedback, or how that'll layer into the department's other engagement efforts.
Mhm. I think what our plan, Travis, is that, so we'll get that framework, the strategy framework from council approved. Then in this series of engagements about funding and future funding, that will allow for additional space for conversation on it. So as it is, we only have $50 million in general funds that we got. But like I said, there are other resources that allow or include preservation as well. So it's this future engagement conversations, that's where that needs to come in place. So if there is additional thoughts or how we can implement those preservation strategies better, differently, that would be the next opportunities to have. Does that answer or get to what you're looking for? We haven't made any decisions about how we're going to use that money yet, because we want to use this series of engagement sessions to get to that.
Sounds good. And so the framework itself hasn't potentially had any notable changes through any of the engagement work that happened to date.
Correct. Yeah. We did present to the council a couple of opportunities. I think once in July, that meeting went so fast and didn't have time. So we brought it back, I believe in July, to have more time for council to have input. But it hasn't changed from that initial presentation to not drastically, unless I'm mistaken. But I think Michael is on the call. If he can correct me if I'm saying something different, but really the heart of that framework, it's still pretty much the same as when we introduced it in June and July.
Okay, any other questions about Housing Stability Council information? Okay, then let's transition. I'd like to talk a little bit about the upcoming engagement session this Thursday, and this particular one is going to be really kind of centered on readiness. And I think I saw Ty here. Ty, do you want to talk just a little bit about the upcoming discussion this Thursday?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, so the goal, there's as part of kind of reimagining the our funding solicitations, a key element is what does readiness look like, and we've kind of put out as a starting point, just to get folks centered on kind of a timeline on what would it look like to try to fund projects closer to closer from award to financial close. So the initial starting point we've thrown out there is 6 months from award, having folks be able to reach financial close as a starting point, the conversations, because depending on the flavor of money with OHCS, that readiness to proceed target to construction close dates is variable, but ideally trying to get you folks best thinking on what what does that, what does that look like? From your perspectives, and how can OHCS help help kind of move that dial along, so we're funding projects a little bit closer to having stuff a little bit more finalized. So it's just so no particular items have been kind of settled down, but it'd be good to get a reality check from your perspective on kind of long lead term items, and stuff that OHCS should be thinking about as we kind of start to ponder things going forward. And so those will be the sequence of the readiness proceeds, is gonna dovetail into kind of the shaping of the next meeting around pre-development. But this first meeting kind of kicks that off.
Thanks, Ty. That's awesome.
Happy to provide any any other context if necessary.
Yeah, and we look forward to the conversation this Thursday. So awesome. Okay, thank you, Ty. Next, we wanted to just kind of discuss that the Vets and Small Project NOFA is closed. Amy, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Last Tuesday, the combined Vets and Small Project NOFA closed. We ended up with 17 applications, requests for 63.4 million in small project money, and we have 45 million available, and requests for 24.7 in veterans funding, and we have 26 million, not thousand, 26 million available. All these numbers are millions, not thousands. Sorry about that. And we will be posting the applicants on the website later this week. We're planning that anyway. So later this week, will be on our webpage. And then we are hoping or planning anyway to go to Housing Stability Council with funding recommendations in November. So we are busy at work reviewing and starting to score and all of that. So appreciate the strong, robust response to the NOFA, and we're looking forward to learning more about the projects.
Great, thank you, Amy, and your team. I think we've also announced another NOFA opening, and that was, I think, the 9% LIHTC round. And so, Jacqueline, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So we just opened up the 9% NOFA on Friday. The pre-applications are due September 22nd. As a reminder, those pre-applications do include the project site checklist and the real estate schedule of holdings. The full applications due on October 27th. We have a 9% NOFA informational webinar scheduled for September 13th. It will be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And FAQs are open, and you can direct all your questions to the MF NOFA inbox.
Jacqueline, could you repeat that time again, 10 a.m. to 12?
Yes, it's 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Thank you.
Great. Any questions about our 9% NOFA? Great.
Rick, may I just add
Please.
that just in case you haven't it was one of the first meetings or partner calls that you attend, we will not have a 9% offering in 2024. So if you were planning or thinking, wait or plan for something in 2024, we will not be offering 9% until 2025 again. So just for your planning purposes, we have met with some partners that did not know that we're not offering in 2024. So FYI.
Yes, thank you for that reminder, Roberto. I think that's important. Okay, just a couple, I think, couple more housekeeping things, and then we'll just kind of open up the floor for any other questions. I think I had mentioned it before, but there is a modular housing fund discussion this Wednesday at 11. Everyone's welcome, but it's really kind of geared towards manufacturers. So if you know somebody that manufactures modular, maybe make sure they saw that that discussion is happening this Wednesday at 11. And then the last thing is there is currently a partner questionnaire that's out. I think a TA went out on that as a reminder today. That closes tomorrow. And I think they're just trying to gather kind of information to potentially put kind of an information repository together on who our partners are, so that somebody interested in development in certain areas might be able to know who's in the industry. So I think that closes tomorrow. I'm sure they'll might be potential opportunities to add your name later if you don't make that, but get your name in if you can. Couple questions. Yep, those are just some chat things. All right, any questions? A question from Jill Chen. When are PABs for projects closing 2023 and early 2024 to be announced? When is the PAB application for projects with financial close in second half of 2024 to open? Angela, do you want to try to field that?
Yep. Hi, Jill. Hi, everyone. This is Angela Parada, she, her pronouns, Senior Tax Credit Programs Manager. We will have our next PAB offering opening on September 26th, tentatively. Of course, there's always a certain amount of discretion, maybe early October, but we're aiming for the 26th of September with pre-apps due October 6th and full app due by October 26th. And that will be for closings through Q1 of 25.
Thank you for that question, Jill. I forgot about Angela. I'm so sorry. So yeah, that was supposed to be in the update and I missed that. So thank you for that question.
Thank you, Angela, and thank you, Rick.
Yeah.
Greatly appreciate it. Just curious, if I may ask another question.
Sure.
In the past, OHCS had made a priority for projects that had local jurisdictional funding, in particular bonds, because we need to close projects with bonds, obviously, because those are time-limited resources. Is that priority going to continue for our projects?
So the QAP allows for PAB prioritization at award order 2 with significant local funding for projects that I think you're referring to Metro bond dollars. And those would qualify. The specifics of that are in the updated 2022 QAP. I can put a link in the chat.
Thanks, Angela. That would be great.
And Angela, there's a question in the chat before you turn off your camera. Confirming you said closings through Q1 2025.
Unmute. You're welcome, everybody. Yes, confirmed through Q1 25.
Rick, I think there was a question before Jill's. I'm not sure if that was answered. I might have. missed
Oh,
it.
yes, okay. Roberto, can you confirm that there is no preservation NOFA in 2024? Missed part of your comment.
Oh, sorry, it's, I just put in the chat there. It's the 9% that we will not be offering in 2024. So not the preservation, it's 9% LIHTC.
Okay, any other questions? I see that there's a comment in the chat. I don't know that I see a question though. Okay, looks like you got what you needed. Awesome. Any other questions? We'll give you just a few more moments here. All right. As always, we really appreciate the attendance, your continued interest in OHCS. Thank you so much for your partnership, and we will give you 30 minutes back in your day. Thank you so much.